Hello and welcome to today's Ask Annie series. Today I'm going to be talking about animal soul reincarnation, which may be a very new topic for you, so I do ask that you listen with an open heart and an open mind. I knew nothing about this until one of my cats let me experience it, and I've now gone on to experience it numerous times with other people's animals as well. I'm just going to share my screen with you. So I would like to thank all the animals and their humans whose stories have helped me to understand animal soul reincarnation. And learning about this reality has totally changed my life. And it's allowed me to write about reincarnation in my books and to help lots of bereaved animal parents to find their animal's soul in a new body. So, as I said, some of this may be very different for you to listen to, but because the animals have shared their wisdom with me, I feel it's my duty to share their wisdom with the world. And preparing these videos is a way of sharing their wisdom. So for those of you who haven't watched these videos before, my name's Annie Burke. I'm an animal-human relationship enricher. So I love having telepathic conversations with animals who are living or in spirit and answering their humans' questions. I also help animal parents and animal professionals to master telepathic communication in my mentorship program so that they can talk with their own animals and other animals living and in spirit. I'm also a clairsentient, a clairvoyant, and a claircognizant, which means that I feel things, see things, and know things with no rational explanation. I've been fascinating with all sorts of natural forms of healing. So I've studied Reiki and crystal therapy and clinical aromatherapy, and I can combine these modalities to support well-being of animals and humans. I've published 3 books and I speak at events and summits, and I have my own podcast show called What Animals Tell Me, where I can share some of the amazing conversations that I've had with animals. And my little girl cat Ginge up here on the top right is the one who inspired me to become an animal communicator, because she knew that's my purpose. So, as I said, I knew nothing about animal soul reincarnation until one of my cats let me experience it. And it was a huge shock because she wasn't very old and she had no health issues. And she just suddenly passed away one morning. So I had no idea what was wrong with her, what had happened. Fortunately, because I can talk to animals in spirit, I was able to talk to her to find out what happened. And she told me that she was coming back. And I just didn't know what to think about that. I'd never heard about reincarnation apart from the ancient Egyptians knowing all about it. But because she'd been one of my animal communication teachers and so accurate with what she taught me, I had to believe her. So it was a test of faith. And I know now that she did that deliberately so that I would experience it and understand it and then be able to write about it and then help other people reunite with their animals when they reincarnate. Now, it seems as though not every animal reincarnates in the same lifetime, and sometimes there can be a huge time delay before they do come back to us. But if it's something that they know is going to happen, then they can tell me when we have a conversation. And to me, it's the most surreal and phenomenal and euphoric experience after the heartbreak of losing your animal to welcome them back into your home and just to be able to hug them and hold them again. I have so many people asking me to tell their animal in spirit how much they love them, how much they miss them, and how much they'd give to be able to hug them just one more time. And so there's all this wishful thinking going on and wanting our animals to come back, and suddenly they do. And it is such a gift to have another lifetime of love with your animal soul in a different body. I still don't know a lot about the process, how it happens, how they know which body they're going to come and swap back into, but I just repeat the information that I get told, and so many families have reunited with their animals and know beyond a doubt it's their animal. So there's a number of different things that they've taught me that I'd love to share with you. First of all, it's a soul aspect that comes back in a new body. So it's not 100% of the animal's soul. Apparently a part stays on the other side, and that part communicates with the soul that comes back. And because they've had a lifetime with you and they've had soul lessons to learn, just like you do, once that lifetime ends and they've learnt their lessons, they get integrated. And so when they come back, it's a higher evolved version of the soul. So they come back with a different life mission and different soul lessons to learn. Now, when that soul aspect swaps into a different body to come back, they don't have to swap into the body when it's conceived. So they don't have to come back as a young puppy or kitten or pony. They can actually negotiate to swap in an older animal, and sometimes that's a quicker way to get back to you. They do have to negotiate with the soul who's in the body to swap out so that they can swap in and come back to you. And I've had a few occasions now where the animal souls have actually swapped into animals that were 3 years old. So the soul who's been living in that animal for 3 years goes over to the other side obligingly so that your animal soul can swap into their body and come back to you. Now, sometimes your animal will look nearly identical to last time. Sometimes they look completely different. As I said, I don't understand yet how they know in advance which body they're going to be in so that you can find them. Usually they do come back as the same species, so a dog usually comes back as a dog, but sometimes they might be a different breed or crossbreed to last time. Sometimes they come back as a totally different species. So I've spoken with cats who have come back as dogs, and I've spoken to someone whose dog came back as a cow. So they don't have to come back as the same species, but usually they do. So when they know which body they're coming back in, they can tell me what species, what breed, what gender, what colour. Sometimes they can give me an age frame of how old the animal is, and sometimes a time frame of when you will be able to find them so you can start looking. And sometimes they can give a specific location, like a rescue agency, where you'll find them. And again, sometimes this is months in advance, and I don't know how they know this, but it's just amazing that their parents find them with the information that they give me. Now, when they do come back, they do need time to adjust to being in a new body. So particularly if your animal was older, they might have had some mobility issues, or they might have had some severe illnesses. Coming back in a completely different body that's healthy will feel very strange to them. And I know because I spoke to some animals about what it feels like, and they said it's like putting on a new suit, and you've just got to get used to how much you can move in that new suit. So I've spoken to one cat who was extremely immobile in his last lifetime, now come back in a very young, athletic, strong kitten body, running and jumping everywhere because he can, and totally enjoying having that ability to move. So you've just got to give them that little bit of time to adjust. Sometimes you'll see some of their familiar behaviours almost straight away, and you will feel something on a heart or soul level recognising them. So even if they've got a completely different fur colour or pattern to last time, when you see them, when you hold them, you will feel something about them. And sometimes there is a delay before more of their behaviours come out. And as I said, they won't be necessarily 100% the same as last time. I've spoken with some people whose new animal is very, very similar in looks and behaviours to last time. And some animals looks completely different, but they do recognise some of their unique behaviours. So it's just a mystery. You don't know what to expect and what you're going to find, but there's this huge sense of anticipation when you know your animal's coming back, but you don't know what you're going to see. Now, because your animal is in a new body, they're going to smell different to how they smelt last time. And animals rely very heavily on scent. So your other animals are not going to recognize them based on scent. Because they're in a new body, they're going to have a new voice. So they're not going to recognize them by voice. And sometimes our animals do swap gender to come back because that's the body that's available. So they might end up having their brother back as a sister, which they have to adapt to as well. So usually it takes about 48 hours for your animals to recognize your returning animal on a soul level. And then once that's happened, they just all reintegrate, and it's as though your animal never left. They've come back again. They may have been the youngest in the family, or the oldest in the family, and they've now come back and they might be the youngest in the family. They may still think that they're the boss. So sometimes there's a little bit of negotiating with the hierarchy to work out the pecking order, but they will sort it out. They know who's who. So you can find out more information about reincarnation with my podcast. In season 1, episodes 1 and 2, I speak about energetic visits from our animals in spirit and also about reincarnation experiences. So I'd recommend that you listen to those episodes. I do offer free masterclasses every month for animal parents, and I've done a number of sessions about animal communication, what happens when our animals pass away, and animal soul reincarnation. Now, these are advertised in my private Facebook group, which you're welcome to join. I advertise on social media, and I have an email list, which you're also welcome to join to get my newsletter. And you're welcome to join my Facebook group, Consciously Understanding Your Animals, which is a community of animal parents where we share our experiences with our animals and celebrate them, and I advertise upcoming events. You're welcome to subscribe to my YouTube channel where you're watching this video. There are a number of videos about the reincarnation stories that I've experienced with my clients, and there's also a number of Ask Annie videos about different topics. My recent book, Crossing the Bridge to Animal Consciousness, I particularly wrote to support people who have been recently bereaved or are still dealing with the loss of an animal. And I include a lot of information about animal soul journeys, the energetic visits they can make from in spirit, and then the real life stories of animals reuniting with their families in their reincarnated bodies. For those of you in Australia, you can purchase the books directly from me, and outside Australia, they're available from Amazon. On my website, www.cosmicheartintuitive.com.au, you can download the 4 free guides I've written to help support animal parents. But the most important thing I can tell you to do is to talk with your animals every day. They understand everything that you say to them verbally, and they love you having a verbal conversation with them. So please do that. And if you do have any questions about the content of today's video about reincarnation, or you've got questions about having a conversation with your animal in spirit, or questions about the mentorship program, or purchasing my books, please email me at chintuitive@bigpond.com. I'd love to help enrich your relationship with your animals. So I'll just stop sharing. So thank you for listening to today's session, And as I said, some of this information is what I've gained over the last 13 years of conversations, and it is a lot to absorb in one go if you've never heard anything about reincarnation before. So, as I said, if you do have questions, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to explain more information to you. So, thank you for watching today's episode, and I hope you go and watch some of the other episodes on my YouTube channel. Thank you.